Okay, so theoretically, we're live now. This is like the second time that we started this conversation. Like, okay, like technology is not on our side today. Vibrations, like this is the second time we started the chat. So everyone, like, thank you for rejoining us again. Like somehow Zoom locked me out of my own live broadcast and left high vibrations alone. But yeah, like this is our second try at it, and let's hope it works this time. So thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to do a group meditation, and it's superb if you can like do it live with us together. And if you're watching the replay, it's the same damn thing. So we're going to do the group meditation. The energy will be there later too. So when you're watching it right now, whenever that is, you can like tap into what is happening at this moment when we're doing the meditation, and like feel yourself, visualize yourself that we're like together. It doesn't matter that it's a recording, the energy is there and you can like tap into it whenever you want to. It doesn't matter. Let's hope that it stays on YouTube, at least for the time to manage to finish it somehow. Okay, I also like want to announce that this week, I think it was on Sunday, the gates have opened to the Patreon community, and some of us have already managed to connect through our private Discord server, and also we had our first new moon Patreon party where we have meet up, and we had like a very lovely conversation among the four of us. That was very nice. And hopefully, if you're like interested in like connecting with like-minded people, sharing like not just on live group events, because like we will have like different events during each month, like what we do together, like connect. You can send us your questions and I will bring in my guides to like answer your questions. We can also have like group meditations and healings, and mostly like in the beginning especially, like I want people to like come together like in a larger chat room type of stuff, and like everyone have like a group conversation. And let's hope that works out fine in the beginning too. And yeah, like if you're interested, then it's in the description too. And also High Vibrations has something to share also regarding the meetups.
Also we have I've been doing this Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're just getting together on a Zoom meeting, and it's not aired, it's not broadcast or reported in any way. And it's just a bunch of awakening beings sharing a space together. And it's just such a validating, loving place to be, to get to connect and to have people who understand what you're going through and to kind of validate you, you know. And so everyone's welcome to join. It's a place of love and there's no judgment there. So if you'd like to join, I will on my channel have a link to the Zoom meeting there. Although sometimes it's hard to do it that way, if you prefer, you're welcome to email me. I have my email in my channel also, and then I will send you a link through the email if you give me enough a heads up on that. So
yeah, like it's an awesome meeting. Like I haven't had time or the opportunity to do it last week, but we did it like 2 weeks ago. Like quite a lot of us have gathered. That was very awesome too. Like the energy of the whole thing, and mostly we're like talking about the awakening process, and probably that's going to be like the main theme for quite a few years.
right.
Since like so many of us are like reawakening or like reaching new stages in our awakening on who we are, and also like a lot of new people are like waking up to the fact that reality isn't what they thought it was. Right. And weird stuff are happening, and the things that are happening don't make any sense. So yeah, and people are starting to join us and also greet us in the chat. Okay, hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Hello Soul Expansion, thank you for joining us. And also Ali and Jocelyn is here too, thank you for joining us. Yeah, like if you have like any questions during the meditation maybe, or you want to share something, then please do so, and we'll try to do our best to like answer it or address it. And even if you like missed a live event, you can like post your questions in the chat, not the chat box, but in the comment sections, and we will do our best with higher vibrations to answer your questions in the comments. Okay, so do you have anything to share before we start the meditation?
For anybody who missed that really short live stream we just did, that before you got booted off.
Yeah, like it took us like 1 minute and 40 seconds on here.
So for anyone who missed that, I would love to point that back out again, at what you were talking about, Guardian, if you would like to expand on it some more, just how the energy's shifted and changed in the experience right now. Yeah,
like I know, like I won't very go into it personally, but like I'm in Eastern Europe and stuff is going down here too. And like yesterday, like stuff were announced that since it's like hundreds of kilometers away from where I live, like stuff were announced that they were like drafting able-bodied men to take them to battle and stuff like that. And yeah, like panic pretty much broke loose. And I think all the communities, or like people that I know of, since that, yeah, like most of the people that I know are in the same age group as I am. And today they did like another announcement that, okay, like cancel that, like that was like a misunderstanding, and it was a very inappropriate of I don't know who to announce such things during these challenging times. And I'm like, okay, like I think we shifted the energy there somehow. Or something happened in the background that like canceled out that very dark stuff. Like we were like very low, like I don't want to wish it to anyone. What we were like going through for like 1.5 days in the past 2 days, basically, like I don't wish it to anyone.
Right.
You know, like when you're like making plans, plan B and C and D, or like what the hell can you do?
Right.
To like avoid what you absolutely don't want to take part in. But yeah, like right now it looks like we have like averted that timeline. So yeah, like let's hold the light. But I also like felt the shift, like in me too. Like at the beginning of the day, I felt much more heavier, and yeah, I had like a super agitated night. Like I barely slept at all. Like it was like my mind was ticking. And during the day, like after like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., like I kind of felt like everything like became like lighter, and I felt like much stronger and self-assured, and like everything is fine and I'm having an awesome day. And it just shifted from 1 hour to the other completely. So
that's the same time I noticed the change, because you're on a different time, completely different time zone than me.
Yeah, like we have like 8 hours.
Middle of the night for me.
Wow.
Yeah, like I felt it too. Sorry, go on.
I don't know what the hell happened, but something did. Definitely. Yeah. So what did you experience on your end?
It just all of a sudden, like I'm still having it, a physical reaction of like this euphoria, just lighter, almost like a nummy kind of feeling, but like good. It's hard to describe it exactly, but it's like, it's very pleasant. And there's just a lot of, I just feel lighter, and my mind feels clearer for the first time in a while. And also the ear ringing changed to a more harmonious and beautiful octave. Like it's this, because I mean, it's usually not disruptive in a way, but like I don't know, I've never had this octave before. And it's just so like beautiful.
Stuff. I really don't like the ringing in the ear stuff.
It's very disruptive and annoying, and especially when you get like the airplane ear or whatever, like underwater ear, where one side you lose hearing almost, and the other side it's like making a lot of noise, and then they change, and that's really annoying.
Yeah, but like I also notice that I like I like hear physically like tunes or notes that are like very different. Like a few years ago, it was only that like monotone high pitch, like like when you're like exposed to something very loud and your ear starts to like ring afterwards. But now like I notice all types of tunes and like notes, like almost like musical notes, like listening to them. It's very strange. I'm not used to it.
And music has changed. Music over the past 24 hours, I've had so many people send links to different songs that are like messages inspiring them. And I've been having the same experience. Like songs are like a way that messages are being sent through right now. And it's all like happy stuff. And it's all like, this is how you do it kind of stuff. It's really neat.
Oh, you're referring to like I know, like music songs or stuff like that.
Yeah. Like actual music, like YouTube video music is how I usually watch. I just have it playing in the background and I just put random on and it'll tell me what I need to know.
Yeah, it's very strange, and it may sound super weird for people who are just new to this.
Right.
Okay, and also soul expansion just mentioned something. Sometimes I will have head pressure on one side of my head and the ear on the other side with the plug up and ringing. Left or right brain hemisphere activation. Yeah, like that's very interesting too. Yeah, like I also felt it sometimes. I think it's called the temporal part, or I don't know how you call it in English. These parts, yeah, like in the temples, this uncomfortable pressure too. And sometimes like I also got like I can like physically like feel like a part of my brain like being very active or like some kind of pressure on it. And then I don't know, maybe days later I can like feel the other part.
Yeah.
Like something is happening to it, or I don't know, like we're going through so many shifts, like because like we have to transform physically too to be able to inhabitate a new earth paradigm basically.
Yeah, we are in the metamorphosis phase of a butterfly.
Yeah, it's not easy, but like we have to do so much transformation because I wouldn't say like we're like out of date, but we need to do some upgrading on our body and our whole systems, because like where we are going, we need a different body basically. Right. And we're like producing new cells and breaking down the old ones, and we're like upgrading and updating our whole infrastructure of this body and how it functions and what we can do with it. Like that's why also our DNA is activating very much so right now. Although I have like zero proof of that, but I think like all the gifts and memories that are like coming through, I think those can be considered as proof for that, maybe.
Right. And that's the other point too, is that all of that dormant DNA, the junk DNA is what they called it, has been kind of blocked off for so long. So there's things that need to happen for our bodies to start to utilize that DNA that's been present in us this whole time. We just haven't been using it.
Yeah, like I think it's like 90% or so that is like considered junk. But in a way, like I got a lot of information. I think also there's some kind of channeling messages with that okay, like some of them were like deliberately like deactivated so we cannot evolve in part. But some of them are like also deliberately like inactive because like we are not ready for that right now. Like we haven't grown up to that to be able to properly remember stuff or like properly and responsibly use our gifts, because we're like little children that are not very responsible. So yeah, just as Uncle Ben said, that with great power comes great responsibility. And we have seen like the opposite of that example, like what not to do with great power in our world. Like that's how we ended up here where we are right now. And we're like all in this process together, and we have to do it on an individual basis. Like that's the only way like you can work through it. Like don't wait for your leaders to be enlightened and to have like spiritually enlightened politicians. Like it's not going to happen. Okay. I mean, probably like as we transition, like people will reach that state of, I know, like more enlightened people will reach those positions of power. Like that's what I want to say. As we move forward, as we like shift the whole paradigm here on Earth. But right now, like everything is like geared towards like people like that not making it close to the points of power. Like everything is like rigged against it. So like if you're an honest, decent person, who really wants to help people, then do something in your local community and you will be like thrown out of the parliament or something.
Right.
It's
The very
impossible.
essence of a politician is corruption, and all of those bodies of government that we have now will have no purpose once things are in alignment the way they are needed to be.
Yeah, like I also got the information that, okay, like it probably it's the same way other places too, but like here in Romania, like we have like we receive like theoretically a lot of money from the EU, like for development, to develop our infrastructure and stuff like that. And all of, I don't know, okay, maybe not all of it, but a super big part of it just slips away here and there,
Right.
just being like siphoned away by people. And by the end of the day, when you like have to actually do something with that resource, then you don't have enough of it to do anything.
Right.
You're like not making any progress at all. And yeah, like it just stuff just disappears. And
Yeah.
I think also like Simon Parks said that like as we're like shifting into a new way how we are going to function, then also like these people going to be like filtered out too. Like since like the whole narrative will be like, okay, like we have these resources, but you actually have to do something with it, and you actually need to be held accountable for what you do.
Right.
And if like these people that are like leeching off every resource that they can will see that, okay, like I'm not getting anything for myself from this, then why should I even bother, or why should I do anything? And I think like people will demand them to leave, or probably they
Right.
will go to jail anyways for what they have done in the past 2 years.
Right.
The majority of them, or I don't know, we'll see.
The idea of a career politician is a corrupt idea in itself. Like someone who, the idea of assisting those around you is that no one truly holds power. It's shared. It's a shared example. It's a true round table where people rotate who does this and that, you know, and to do it the way that it has been done, it's designed wrong.
Yeah, it's designed
backwards.
so it won't work,
Yes.
basically. Like at least here too, like in our country, and I think also like in America, like you have these two parties that are like opposite ends of the spectrum, and like they're constantly each other's throat, and like if they're doing this, then we have to do the opposite, and like
Right.
in that way, like you can like never reach a balance between the two and like actually do something positive, because you're like constantly like negating and like contradicting and counteracting whatever the other one tries to do. Even
Exactly.
if that's like good, then you were forced to like do something very stupid. Like it makes no sense to me.
It makes sense because it's not supposed to work. It's supposed to,
Yeah,
it's
like it doesn't
theatrics.
supposed to work. Yeah, like it's not
It's
supposed to work.
reality TV. It's not real.
Yeah, and I also like seen like people like reporting like who have left politics, that they were like super like upset and like enraged by the whole theater, basically, like in front of the cameras and like in meetings and in Congress they're like each other's throat and they're like playing this part, and when the cameras are shut down and they have like an
Yeah.
after party or something, then everyone is like best buddies and like
Right.
oh, like yeah, like
Exactly.
yeah, like stuff are super messed up, like how they work right now.
Yeah. It's all a distraction. If you can keep everybody looking one direction, then they won't actually try to do what's right. And that's what's cool about right now is that more and more people are noticing this. More and more people are like, what's happening, you know, and realizing it and are no longer distracted by it as much anyway. And that's so cool. And as a result, there's more and more love being sent to these things. And the more love we can send to anything, the more that it breaks down if it's not of love. And that's what we've been doing, all of you too. And thank you for your service. It's not easy. This has been hard for all of us. This is not an easy gig.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we're like doing this snowball effect. Like the more people realize this stuff and like you consciously remove yourself from that garbage programming and choose to be more in alignment with who you are and what is truly important to you, then yeah, like it just breaks down, because like we are holding up that whole paradigm, And if you like consciously like remove yourself from it, then you like create this hole, and the structure just becomes weaker, weaker and weaker. And we are like seeing the whole damn thing like collapsing in on itself on live television.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, like speaking of the broadcaster lady from Germany who had like a robot malfunction or something
Yeah.
on live television. That was very freaky. She was, yeah, like I sent it to a lot of people, and everyone like commented like, oh my gosh, she's like a robot or something, like glitching out. And yeah, like I think many people are like so invested in this AI thing that they're like completely detached from their spirit or like their humanity. And since the whole program and the whole energy that is holding that up is like disappearing, then they're also like imploding, or like they're unable to function anymore because the energy that sustained that so far is like gone, and you don't have fuel to run on right now. Okay, do you have
It's
anything
happening a
else?
lot, dude.
Yeah.
No, I'm just happy that this is happening and everyone's seeing it, and that's beautiful. And it's going to be scary sometimes, but there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just the bad stuff breaking down.
Yeah, like hold on. Yeah, like also you can do this meditation like other times too. Recently, for some reason, I posted quite a lot of these meditations also to like find your center, to go within. And also I think the last one was for like tuning into your heart center, I think, that light language transmission. Because like right now is like super important to like hold our center and like not being like swept away by all the drama of things falling apart that so far seemed very comforting because that's all we have known so far. And now the garbage bin is like on fire and is falling apart. Okay, so let's start meditation.
Okay.
I will also put like a timestamp for this later, so anyone who watches it will be able to jump to this point. Okay. Okay, so everyone take a very comfortable seated position, or you can also lay down, whatever works for you when you're doing your meditations. Hold your back straight. And start with taking a deep breath through the nose. And gently let it out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. And if you're guided to, you can also experiment with different mudras or ways you're holding your hands together. Depending on what you do, you can. I'm going to like raise myself. This is like very good for relaxation, putting your hands this way together. Like I find this is very easy to hold. You can also, I think this is like some kind of Buddha. I don't know like what it's called. This is also great for relaxing during meditation if you want to try it. But this is like easier to hold. So it's like, that's what I do usually. Or you can hold this position. This is what I do usually in the channelings. When I do channel, then this is what I do. But this is more like intensifying the energies that are like going through your brain. So this is not very good for relaxing. Okay, so use whatever you're guided to do. You can just put your arms on your lap or whatever works for you. It doesn't matter. You can also hold your hands this way. This is also very good. So let's take another deep breath through the nose. In through the nose. And let it gently out through your mouth. In through the nose. And gently let it flow out through your mouth. Breathe in a slow and rhythmic pace that is most comfortable for you. And when you're exhaling, visualize and feel how you're exhaling all the tension from your body and mind. Inhale through the nose. And let go all the tension, all the busyness, from your mind, from your body. Exhale it. Let it all flow out. You don't need it. You don't need it right now. Breathe in calm, balance. And exhale all the busyness, all the tension. And as you're doing so, consciously feel and see the muscles in your face. Let your face muscles relax. Let your limbs relax. Only hold your back. Let your belly relax too. Feel how all your fingers are relaxing. Your feet are becoming a bit more heavier and more relaxed. And as you're breathing in and out, all the tension is flowing out from your body. And as you're observing your heartbeats, you can sense that it's becoming slower and slower. For your body is calming down. Your mind is calming down as your body does. And whenever distracting thoughts come in, just observe them, see them for what they are, and let them pass. You don't need to focus on them. You don't need to give them any greater significance. Just breathe in and out, letting go of all the tension, all the busyness. And we ask the ego mind to step aside while we're doing this meditation, to be the observer. We greatly value the ego mind's perspective, but right now we ask it to be merely the observer. For what is happening right now will be of great benefit to all. And all the chores, all the busy thoughts, all the things that you think that you need to do or will have to do later on, take them all, put them in a basket or a box and put them aside. You can visualize and feel how you're putting all of the tasks, all the chores of the day, all the busy thoughts, you're putting them aside. Putting them in your desk, closing the door, locking them away for a short time. They will be there later. You don't need them right now. You can access them later, but right now you don't need them. Just let them be. And enjoy this wonderful state of relaxation, clarity of mind, peace of body. And as you're breathing in and out, focus more on the beat of your heart, focus on your heart center. Feel how your heart is beating. You may visualize its energies in the middle of your chest, how it is pulsating, how it is flowing. How it is responsible for circulating energy from your body. And as you're breathing in and out and you're observing your heart and feeling it, what does it feel like to be in your heart center? Does it feel more peaceful, calmer? If you feel that tension is rising in your chest when you're doing this, then just simply breathe in and out. And as you're exhaling, visualize and feel how you're exhaling from your chest, the tension, letting it out, letting it flow out. Breathing in more clarity and exhaling all the tension from your chest. Know that this is the resistance that you put up. the resistance that you think that you're unable to properly access your divine self. These are all the expectations and all the conditioning that has conditioned you to think that you're unable to perform this beautiful action. See them and observe them for what they are. Breathe in calm and peace into your chest. And whenever you exhale, just exhale with tension. And it will slowly or very rapidly, it will subside. As we're also progressing further in this transmutation of self, it will also dissolve naturally. You don't have to give it great significance. And as you're observing your heart center, see a beautiful white spark, a white flame rising in your heart center, akin to a candle flame that is burning bright. Some of you may see you're observing darkness within your body. For to all seeming light, that light doesn't penetrate the inside of your body, but this beautiful white little flame is illuminating everything inside of you. And as you're seeing it, as you're visualizing it, feel its warmth, feel its gentle nature. Fuel it with your breath, just as oxygen fuels fire. Make it stronger with each breath. Ask it to come forth from the flower of life, which connects all of us together, which connects directly to the flower of life of Gaia, of the Mother Earth. Ask for the fire to come forth from the flower of life, to connect to the core of Gaia, and to bring forth her fire and the fire of the central sun. Visualize the beautiful eternal flame shining brightly within your heart, growing with each breath, gently flowing and expanding across your body. We ask the eternal fire to rise from the depths of our soul, to flow through all the channels, to flow through all the veins, through our nervous system, gently to expand throughout our bodies, in all aspects of our beings, to flow gently in perfect pace. Whatever your body allows at any given moment. We ask the eternal fire to rise from the depths of our heart, to come forth and to cleanse all aspects of our being, to transmute all density, all interference, fear, doubt, all negative attachments, implants, everything that is holding you down in a lower vibrational state. We ask the eternal fire to spread all across our beings, not just the physical, but also to our surroundings and our ethereal body, spreading across our being, dissolving, transmuting all density, transmuting all fear and doubt from our hearts, transforming everything into source creative energy. Feel how the warmth is caressing you, moving through your body, inside and out. Your hands may heat up. Your body may heat up. You may sweat also. Feel how your core temperature is rising, for everything is super accelerated within your being. All the cleansing process, all the transformation. You're letting yourself evolve more easily, bringing forth more of your higher self in perfect alignment, For your true nature is the fire that comes from source, from the central sun. This way you are anchoring more of your higher self, letting all your cells crystallize, being able to hold more light, to anchor more higher vibrational energies within yourself, within your physical body, for your body is changing rapidly, it is transforming. And when you're doing this type of activity, you're smoothing the whole process, you're making it smoother. For your body moves and transforms regardless of what you do, since the energies that are bombarding your world are igniting this transformation. And if you're not in alignment with that transformation in a conscious manner, if you're not taking steps to consciously transmute all density within yourself, to be more cleaner, to cleanse yourself, to eat clean, to think clean, to be clean on all levels, then you're making the transformational process more difficult because you have all these blockages that are in the way, that are blocking the flow of the proper energies. Things don't get where they need to go. Thus, you have a lot of resistance within your body. That is why you experience so much pressure. That is why you're experiencing the shifts in vibrations more, not necessarily drastically, but more prominently. Some of them can be more uncomfortable than they need to be because you have all this resistance built up. And by each day cleansing yourself, not just on a spiritual, energetic level, but also physically, fasting is a great way of consciously having a physical activity that cleanses your body, making you lighter. You're lessening the birthing pains, the transformational pains, you're letting them go. You're putting everything back into the proper flow. For your transformation does not need to be uncomfortable. It doesn't need to be difficult. All the blockages and resistance is causing the difficulties. It is also perfectly all right to experience those as well. For you're going through great transformation also mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And by doing these daily cleansings, grounding, centering yourself, making sure that each day you do something that uplifts you, that brings you happiness, you're putting everything back into its proper place, into its proper flow, allowing yourself to experience the shift much more easily and to flow much more easily with what is happening, to be more aligned with everything, with your highest good, with the most optimal path for you at all times. For in this state, you're allowing yourself to receive everything that is of your highest good. Also repeat after us the mantra each day for as many times as you wish to do so. I am grateful for I have everything that I need in my life in order to thrive in this lifetime. Breathe in that knowing. I am grateful that I have everything that I need in my life in order to progress on my journey. And when you're stating your truth, you may also visualize it, feel it. Feel it in your very being. I am grateful that I have everything that I need in order to thrive in this lifetime, in order to take the next step. I know that I am attracting everything that I need in order to take the next step, in order to embody more of who I am, to be more to truly who I am, to stay true to myself. I am receiving all the support, all the blessings, all the protection, all the guidance in order to properly and easily navigate this life experience. For I'm perfectly capable of easily navigating the storm and everything that is flowing around me and inside of me as well. I am not a victim of circumstances. I am a willing participant in this earth experience. I have consciously decided to come in and to transform all this density. I have taken on all these challenges in a conscious manner. And now that I am taking back control over my own life experience, I have all the tools, all the energies, all the guidance, all the protection to transform my life experience. Now I consciously choose and decide to transform all density, fear, doubt, misconceptions of myself and others, all the illusions. I let them dissolve in the eternal fire. For I am one with the eternal fire. I am one with source creative energy, dissolving, transmuting all darkness, fear, doubt, everything that is of lower nature. And in this state, nothing can touch me that is in lower nature. For I am vibrating on the highest octave that I can in this embodiment. I am embodying my sun state, transforming all density, not just within, but also in my surroundings and also in the collective. And in this state, I'm doing everything that I can, and I'm able to transform and assist the global shift. For I'm holding the light. I'm bringing in my higher self, higher guidance, my true self. I'm bringing in and anchoring all the codes of the heavenly realms. And by anchoring this peace and knowledge within myself, I'm also sharing it with the collective, bringing peace and balance to all who are in alignment with this path. And I'm certain, and I know, that everything is flowing perfectly as it needs to. And that I am in alignment with my highest good, with my soul's path. And do this beautiful meditation each day, anchoring this divine energy within yourself. And you're holding the light, you're strengthening the grid, you're strengthening the light grid, allowing more source creative energy to come forth and to be anchored in its reality, since you're consciously inviting it within your being. You're giving it permission to come forth more easily and more abundantly, and to be shared with all others, to transmute all density across the globe and the collective. And know that whenever you're doing this, whenever you're transforming density, fear, doubt, sickness, misalignment, intrusions within yourself, you're also doing it in the collective. You're sending this transformative energy outwards, sharing it with others, sharing it with the earth itself, amplifying the transformation in a positive direction. There are energies that are wishing to derail or destabilize the shift, but the outcome cannot be destabilized, or it cannot be derailed, for it is set. The only thing that can happen is creating more friction on your way there. And by centering yourself, being balance itself, you're stabilizing the entire shift, counteracting and dissolving all the interference. You may also visualize yourself holding hands across the globe, connecting with each other. You may also do it through beams of light connecting each other across the globe. For many of you are doing it through many timelines. And know that many of your race are doing the same thing, even though if they're not listening to this transmission. For many are guided to do this type of activity, to join in and to amplify this transformational effect. And whenever you're transforming density within yourself, you're doing a great service to the collective and to all humanity. We're grateful for this interaction. Know that all is well. Know that everything is flowing perfectly for you. And whenever you are in alignment, we're bringing everything that is in contact with you and all the collective more alignment. And if you wish to assist individuals, then from this heightened state of awareness, focus your attention on them and transmit and emit, send them this balance. And if they wish to receive it, then you are also stabilizing them, bringing about great change in themselves, in perfect alignment, assisting them in their journey of unfoldment and awakening. Know that all is well, in perfect flow, always. Be at peace. Aho, blessings. You may start to breathe more rapidly, taking deeper breaths, drawing in more of who you are, bringing back all fractures of yourself, all parts of yourself that were like left in different places, that were segregated across all timelines. You're bringing back everything into yourself, becoming more whole, more integrated. Breathe them in. Make them consciously part of your being, and know that everything is realigning and being put in their proper place. You're allowing yourself to be more holistic, to be more of yourself, to be healed in perfect alignment and balance, to be more loving, to be more of who you truly are in each moment. Just stay for a few seconds in that state of being in perfect alignment and being perfectly you, being at peace, calm, knowing that all is flowing in perfect alignment. I'm at the proper place and I'm the best place that I can be right now, knowing that I'm always guided where I need to go. And I'm always receiving everything that I need in life in order to thrive and to be happy, to be prosperous. Just breathe in that knowing and feel, what does it feel like to be in that beautiful state of alignment, being perfectly you. And I greet you in your new reality. You may start to breathe more quicker, taking more deeper breaths, coming back to your full awareness. Depending on when you're listening to this, if you're not ready to go to sleep and you're coming back, you're able to move your body much more, being more in alignment, being fully aware, fully present, fully alert, being fully aware of yourself and your environment, being fully present and fully alert in the here and now on the 3-free portal, basically. Hello, Thania. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for doing the meditation with us. So how are you feeling higher vibrations? Like,
that was a really cool experience.
Like, what have you seen during the meditation? What have you experienced?
So first we were just, it was just that, you know, kind of collecting, but then we started to pull in this like rainbow cobweb from the universe that was like but it was like a funnel. And so we're pulling in these light codes, because a cobweb was actually light codes, and they were these symbols that look kind of ghostly, almost like a shadow of a color, but beautiful. And it was geometric. It was really cool. And as you're pulling it in, you could feel like it expanding. It was really cool. Wow. That was really beautiful. I feel really a lot lighter than I did before. And I've had a much lighter day today than I have in a while, but you boosted me up more. Thank you.
Yeah, like I feel that too. Like I felt like I felt very okay when we started this interaction. Like yesterday when we did the Patreon meeting, like I was like doubting myself, like, okay, like, can I really do this? Like I was in a very bad place when we started it, but like I managed to like push through it and like come out on the other end somehow. But yeah, like I also felt pretty much okay when we started, and I also felt this like very calm and warm sensation all over my body, like just putting everything back in its place. And like that's pretty much what we should do every day.
Yeah.
especially like what is happening across the world. Like we need to find our balance and center each day for like this whole crazy circus show won't end tomorrow. At least I hope it will, but it probably won't.
The other point too was that love is light and light is love. And that's a message that came through a while ago, but I kind of forget about it sometimes. And as we bring in the light, we're bringing in the love. There's no difference between the two. And that's what we did. We brought in more of that today. We brought in more of that light. That's the love.
Like what I also get, like, yeah, like I also get a lot of love stuff too, but I always get like light is life. Like that's like the life-giving force of the universe, basically. Light is. Yeah, like I also forgot to share it like yesterday, but now I remembered it, like with the Vesica Pisces stuff. Like you will also like many people are like mentioning like the Vesica Pisces, and like if you don't know what that is, like that's the geometric shape of like you have like two circles, and like the circles are like intersecting, and you have like that almond shape in the middle of it, like that's the Vesica Pisces. And I was doing this grid work, I think yesterday, and when we started this whole like upheaval with 2020 lockdown stuff, like that's when I first noticed that like the two earths are like separating, or like they started the process. Like, but I know like you could just imagine like two earths like just like a bit like sliding off from each other, like barely noticeable. But now I've seen it again, and it was basically that symbol, the Vesica Pisces. Like they're like halfway there. Like if you could like draw like what do you call it? If you have like two earths and you like draw like a vertical line in their center, then you will like have a square, like they're like equally separated from each other. Like you can still see and experience what's on the other earth, basically, because like we're halfway in between stuff.
Right.
You can still go down that route if you want to.
Right.
But no, thank you. Like, especially if you made it so far, then you shouldn't really. Right. And yeah, like we're also seeing all the good stuff, like the new earth stuff. We're also like receiving these heavenly energies. Like that's what we were like talking about. Like it's far more easier right now to tune into your heart center and like be lighter. And we also have this like fluctuation that we're like talking about. Like you feel very bad, like or like very low vibrational in the morning, and in 2 hours you like shift completely and you're like super
Right.
high in 5D up
Right.
in the higher realms. And yeah, like that's because like we're like moving in between stuff.
Yeah.
And we're like, what I'm getting in my experience, like I try to be there as much as I can. And we're like doing these meditations or like listening to stuff that like reminds you of it, or like I don't know, like listening to some kind of music or like channeled messages that like reminds you of that spark of light, then you're there. And when you're like confronted by other people's like panicking or the stuff that they're going through, then you're kind of like, you feel that they're like drawing you back into that
Right.
rut to a certain extent. And that's like completely normal. Like I don't like, we're going through that back and forth sadly still, but it's
Right.
much lighter now.
That's exact. And I've been seeing that for a while too. And like the only thing I wanted to add to that though is that it's that though it's got that intersection that's happening, it is separate still. It's simply that there's an intersection there that is creating that Vesica Pisces, but that you can switch back and forth right now, but for the most part, most of us have already chosen. And
Yeah.
we are on that side, whatever side you chose. And if you're watching this, you're on the new earth, like congratulations. At the same time, because there's that ripple that's happening, we're still going to experience or witness the experience of many others. That's mainly why over the past few years, really, more and more, we're noticing these crazy things happening, but they don't affect us. Like they really, and I don't know about any of you guys, but for me, like all of this stuff that's been happening, none of it's actually affected me. Like it's in any way. And, like even when the stores were empty, like I'd show up, I'm like, they're not empty, and I get everything I needed. And then an hour later, I'm getting photographs that the store's empty again. And I'm like, I just went when I felt like I should. And, I never have had anything that's affected me in that way. And I don't know why exactly, but I watched a Dolores Cannon video not too long ago. I was drawn to it. And when I was watching it, she was talking about the same thing where I was talking about the separation that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's multiple earths in the middle. And more as we make the choice toward new or old earth, the more the other side won't affect us and the farther away from the other one we go. And that's where we are right now. And you're right, Vesica Pisces is everywhere. It's ridiculous. And it's not, I'm sure it's not a surprise that we're in March. Right now we're in the Pisces astrology period too.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's also like the same thing with like receiving like attacks too, or like these psychic influences too. Like the more you're like shifting, like choosing the higher version of yourself, you can like still, you can still perceive it, but it doesn't really affect you. Like, okay, like I notice it that it's there, or someone is trying to do something, but I don't care. Like it doesn't affect me anymore, or I just send it away. Yeah, like it's also very crazy with the whole lockdown stuff too. Just as you mentioned, like everyone was like super affected by it, but somehow like our lives for the past 2 years, like we weren't affected by it. If I think about it really, like it's like I wouldn't say like crazy, like many weird stuff happened in my life. But when you like think about it, it's like how is that possible? Like, because like all the people are like experiencing this lack and restrictions and everything, and I can just do whatever I want.
Right.
Like we like we wanted to we buy an apartment in a big city, and like it didn't work. Like that was like 5 or 6 years ago, and we have to move out of there, and we moved to a very small town. And like in smaller communities, like people don't really care about rules or restrictions. Like they don't give a rot about that. So when this whole lockdowns and like restrictions came, like we could like do whatever, like no one cared.
Right.
The only thing that like we chose in the beginning of March, like to be isolated for like 2 months. but that's also a self-imposed. So basically we chose to do that.
Right.
We could have gone out then too, but we had like no clue like what the hell is happening by then.
Right.
We didn't want to risk anything, especially since we had like a little baby too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, like we could go wherever we want to. Like I could go outside nature, meet other people who wanted to meet me too, or weren't afraid.
Right.
And also like you had all this economic stuff going on, like like everything becoming super expensive, but somehow we managed to build a house in that environment. And we're in it right now. Like that's like crazy, like, right? Like, and we're like in this super beautiful place where we're even less affected by all those stuff. And this is like also like you're gradually just moving out and upwards, like each step of the way. And all the people who are like connected to my old life, I can like definitely like see like each day or like from month to month, like they're like distancing, like becoming like less and less and less and less part of my life. Like I had my accountant, like I had him for like 12 years, like we worked together for 12 years. And all of a sudden he's in that city that I couldn't stay in, like very well, I kicked out of that place.
Right.
And he lives there, and all of a sudden he just notified me that, okay, like he can't continue anymore with this, like he has to take like 6 months leave. So I basically had to find a new accountant because I can't leave 6 months of gap in my finances, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And this was also like a sign, like, okay, so like we're even more like stepping out of that old stuff because like people are like more and more like checking out of my reality.
Yeah. It's so cool. And the cool, I was talking to somebody else about this because they were saying that they're you know how sometimes it's hard to notice how you have evolved because you're doing it. You're there with yourself every day.
You're in the middle of it.
Yeah. You know, and the best example is because there was the shifts have been so much more pronounced since the beginning of this stuff, right? So the best way to see your progress is to think back to March 2020. Who were you then?
Oh my God.
And now who am I now, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's life like now? What's changed? How much more connected are we? How much more at peace are we? You know, like there's I am a whole different animal, not just a different person. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah, like also like our bodies have changed too. Like in 2 years, like quite a lot of your cells are like you're vacating the old stuff and like generating new ones that are more like updated to the new energies too. So we're also physically have changed a lot too.
I'm a freaking vegan now. You know, like I mean, I used to be a whole different person.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm not vegan. I just ate a lot of sushi today. So.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Fish does have a lot of very important minerals and healing properties. And you know, if someone isn't, it's not an ethical thing. Your body's going to ask you to eat something that you need to eat. And
yeah, like in the past year, I really like felt the need. I need to eat fish. But I wouldn't want to eat chicken anymore. Like I don't like. I never really ate stuff. Like the only thing that I ate, it was meat, was like the breast of the chicken. And that was like that was it for me. Yeah. And after a while, like my body said, like, okay, like you should really stop with that garbage. Or I don't know.
That's what happened to me too. It wasn't a decision. It just my body stopped wanting it and started to like get rid of it quickly.
Like feel very uncomfortable and like unpleasant, you know. And I was like, one day I was like if it doesn't feel good, like why the hell am I shoving it into my body, basically? If I don't, that's not good for me.
Exactly. And it's not a problem to solve. It's simply a thing that is, you know, and as medical sciences, they're trying to give a label to it. And apparently in America, allergy to meat, they're calling it an allergy, is becoming more common, especially in females, strangely, but it's what it is, you know.
You're more receptive to those higher energies and you're more sensitive by nature than we are.
We are, it's true. But isn't that fascinating that it's so common they're giving it a label?
Yeah, like I'm curious what they are going to give for ascension symptoms. Or going crazy, or I don't know. They also have like physical effects too, like that have like no logical explanation or medical explanation, or like experiencing weird stuff and you go to the medic and he doesn't find anything. Like I think many of us had that. Like you get scared because like you're experiencing weird stuff in your body and you go to the medic to have like a full checkup and you're like perfectly fine.
Right.
And I'm like, what the hell is happening?
I just did one of those recently just because it's not a bad idea to go and get check up every once in a while and all that. And so I was mostly honest about some of the things that I know are ascension symptoms, mostly because I wanted to see what he would say. And it was kind of funny because he said, well, the best thing I can tell you is to get more sleep and to cut the coffee out of your diet. I haven't drank coffee in so long. And I was like, I just said, thank you. Okay, thank you. But like, I don't, there's a little bit of caffeine in some of the tea I drink, but like, and my point is though, is that that's the answer, because there is not one for the medical world, like get more sleep and cut back on your coffee intake. Like
that's good
that's,
advice.
it is.
You should get more sleep and also like drink a lot of water too.
Yes, water really helps, and being able to make contact with soil is so helpful. Walking barefoot in nature, if possible, at this time of year for you. If not, bringing soil into the house, just setting your foot on top of it for a bit, like that really helps. Like we get this exchange of the minerals that come through and absorb through those large pores in the bottoms of our feet, and there's the ionization that happens, and like it's just great, and it's so helpful.
Grounding, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I also heard like with all this EMF radiation that we have, like just as with like nuclear radiation, like it accumulates in your body.
Right.
This electromagnetic radiation also accumulates in your body. And when you like go out and like like stay barefoot or like sit on the ground, you're like sending it down and you're like neutralizing it. Just as when you're like the lightning strikes the house and it is like conducted down into the soil to be neutralized.
Yeah. And the thing I used to be worried about was I didn't want to hurt Gaia. I'm like, why do I want to give her bad stuff? But no, she knows what to do with it. That's her job. She's good at it. And like you're not harming her in any way to just send that stuff out and down. And energetically too, in a meditation space or whatever, just sending it down to her and let her take care of it. She's got it.
Yeah, she's massive. She's energy is huge.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share before closing?
Thank you so much for this. This was a beautiful gathering, and I could feel all of you. Like when you talked about connecting, we already were. Like I saw, but then it just kind of got brighter, and that connection is still happening. I feel all of you, and I want to thank you for providing the space to do that today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who joined us, and also thank you if you watched the replay. And yeah, like see you on the next one. Okay, bye.